Scientologist and convicted rapist Danny Masterson has been transferred to a minimum security prison after being housed in Charles Manson's old lockup. But you guys don't even know the reason why. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. So glad to be here with my man Lewis from Nerd Report. Welcome back, Lewis. Man,
hey,
you are getting in the heavy over there, man. I see you reporting on all this chaos that is happening on Scientology. How's it been going over there, man?
It is chaos, and I never look. If you want to catch up with it, you're gonna have to go on Nerd Report or do your own research because it's so big, man. It's bigger than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. There's so many things going on there, but here we're going to talk about Masterson. But oh my gosh,
it's all connected though, and that's why I feel like we're starting to finally reconnect, thankfully, over here and talk about other stuff here. But for those of you who have been following, Lewis has been on this trail like crazy, has become a really important resource and gathered with a lot of other journalists and TikTokers and people who have been out there trying to uncover the truth. And so I implore you to go support Nerd Report, get on over there. But yeah, look, it's all connected, Lewis. I know you haven't followed this one as direct, but I wanted to connect us because I think our paths should be crossing more often on these stories because it's important, guys. So this was the story that a lot of people reporting on, that Denny Masten had been moved to a maximum security prison that once held Charles Manson. It was a kind of a nice big clickbaity title, but it wasn't clickbait. He really was at this maximum security prison. Well, he was recently just transferred to a minimum security prison in San Luis Obispo after safety concerns is what they're calling it. Now this place has it's a penal colony that offers academic classes and substance abuse counseling. I mean, look, I'm not going to knock that. We should have that at prisons so people can be rehabilitated, but it's just a much nicer lockup than where he was at. And you can confirm it here. We've looked it up. Here is where it is. And this facility that does, look, it's still a prison. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely sounds like a better write-up. Now, here's where things get interesting, Lewis. Lewis, I have a lot of theories and thoughts, but I want to I'll shout out JD DeLay over here, who I just learned about, who actually has sources at these prisons, okay? And his content has been blowing up as well. We should connect with him at some point too, but he had a source inside the prison, and here's what actually went down with Danny Masterson. Ready for this? Let's watch.
Because we heard he got smashed, and that's why they moved him. They moved him on an emergency because he got smashed. He got injured. Not bad enough to go to an outside hospital, so it's not like he was gonna you're gonna see it in the news or whatever, but he did get smashed on. So I told you guys I would come back and I would let you know when we knew who got him, right? Who got Danny Masterson? What really happened? Why exactly did he get moved on an emergency status? Because he's not even supposed to be able to go to this place. With his custody level, they had to give him an override to be able to send him to this joint because it's a more lax joint. So he got an emergency override. It takes like 2 years clear conduct to get to this place. So how did he get that override? How did he get that override? He got that override because they witnessed him being in enough danger to be able to justify it, right? So what happened was he wasn't coming out of his cell. He was hiding in his cell. He wasn't going to meals. And the word on the yard, the word on the pound is that they saw that he wasn't going to his meals. So some COs came down and they were escorting him either to the kitchen to make sure that he ate something or to medical to have him evaluated because he wasn't leaving his cell and he wasn't going to meals. Now, on the way, they're walking him down these long-ass cement hallways that they got in these prisons, and they're walking him past other inmates, bro. And if there's a green light, if there's an SOS, a smash on sight, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get dude whether there's a cop on either side of him or not. And that's exactly what happened. Now, we thought that it might have been one of those 3 different gangs that we'd heard about, and it wasn't, bro. It's a gang I've never heard of. It was the BBCs. That doesn't mean what you think it does.
I had to pause too because I'm like, wait, he got smashed by BBCs? You guys have to look it up if you want to know what we're talking about, but it's, yeah.
BBC, to me, when I heard it, Andy told me, yo, he got smashed
not
out
me,
by
I'm
2
not the
BBCs. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what? You got smashed up, what? Right? But that's not what it means. This is actually a white gang called the Brothers by Choice. Unfortunate initials. And they do, in the prison system, go by the BBC. Like 100%, that's what they go by. And it's a white gang. And so, like, I looked into these dudes a little bit. The BBCs a lot of them are dropouts from the Aryan Brotherhood. A lot of them are ex-brand members. So, you know, these dudes as serious as a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? These dudes ain't no joke. They made it into the Aryan Brotherhood, and now they're on a sensitive needs yard. So 2 of these dudes ran up on him right in front of 2 correctional officers and just started taking flight. Just went to town on Danny, and they were able to get at him for however long until they were able to get back up there to be able to get these 2 dudes off Danny. So he got mucked up, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was his little welcome to prison. He got jumped by 2 dudes right in front of 2 correctional officers. And like, you really, like, you gotta have a little bit of, heart to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've taken flight on people in front of COs. You know you're going to the hole. You know that you're going to get caught. You know you're going to get messed up for doing that. So, you know, these dudes, I applaud them. They stood on business. There was an on-site on this dude because of the nature of his charges and what he did to those women. And they stood up. They handled that shit. They got the business with them regardless of who was standing there. And
he goes on to say, like, ladies and everybody, like, he's a survivor of SA as well himself. And he's like, there's just certain crimes and people, if you're sliding stuff in drinks, we want to set the precedent that even in prison, you can't get away from us. There's going to be someone there who's going to take the job. So that's what he means by applauding the guy. So take all that as well. But I shout out here to JD. I'm going to try to reach out. I'd love to get JD on the channel. He's a great personality. I've only just stumbled upon him, but JD, my man, reach out anytime. I'd love to talk to you further about this and everything else you got going on. Congrats to your success and these scoops, because I looked up. This guy does have legitimate scoops there, Lewis. But here's where I'm interested. I'd love to talk to him further. And here's where I'm speculating. Now, watch the full video over there. I do want to properly plug JD Delay. Go check him out. You can hear his full plug. He's got a whole stream. He's been doing a few of these. But, Lewis, it's weird. When I see this, I'm like, could Scientology have paid this group to go rough him up, to get him in this lower, call it? Like, how did he get in this minimum security prison already? You know what I mean? This guy even said it. It takes 2 years of good behavior to get such a knockdown on your penalty, right? And he's managed to do it this fast. My conspiracy brain immediately goes like, well, they probably just paid off some group to go do it. They're going to be put in the hole, but whatever, they'll get whatever they get out of that. Or maybe this really was sort of like, we're going to show you what you know, your type of crime is going to get in here. What are your thoughts, Lewis? You've been dealing with the corruption of the LAPD, the Scientology, all of it. Do you think this was genuinely just prison guys trying to get their way and set the tone? Or do you think there could be corruption here as well?
I think it could be corruption, man. The things I've seen victims get hit by cars, protesters actually being victims, getting hit by cars, by anti-protesters, just people coming out of the restaurant they're protesting. And when the victims call the cops, they go to jail. There's 3 guys that were put in jail. They were this over the weekend. It's crazy. So I don't know. I don't put anything past it. I do, before I accuse anyone of doing anything, I do want like absolute proof. But my mind went exactly where yours did with this statement here by JD Delay. Yeah, anything's possible at this point, man. Anything is possible. Victims are going to jail right now. I said it already in one of my podcasts. From what the stuff I've seen the last 2 weeks, I'm surprised Danny Masterson's victims weren't imprisoned instead of him for being victims.
You mean because of the corruption, right?
It's that weird, man. It's that weird. I'm not joking. My titles of my videos have been victims of attacks have put in prison, and people think it's a typo. It's not. This is nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, no, Lewis, and a lot of people have been joining forces with you guys to cover this journalism and via social media. It's wild, the pressure you put on just because you're exposing it. And Scientology has gotten so desperate. Their tricks, they're playing like copyrighted music, their own copyrighted music to try to shut streams down, which then YouTube's allowing. The corruption, and then the LAPD. We reported on that on here about Aaron getting arrested back a little while back. And then clearly it was nothing. The officer who did it seems to be a big Scientology supporter. There's so much corruption in this police out there and everywhere else. And Scientology still has their hands, it seems, in a lot of these, pots. It is not far-fetched for you to say that, Lewis. That's what's so crazy. And to see that Danny was legitimately in a maximum security prison that held Charles Manson. Like, that's how bad this was. And now today we're seeing, oh yeah, he's going up to the penal colony, to get some academic classes and things. And again, I believe in rehabilitation for prisoners. We need to do that for certain prisoners. If you've done your time, we can't just turn them into monsters even further. There are some that I feel like make those mistakes, Lewis, right? And great, have these colonies and places to rebuild, of course. But Danny, my man, hasn't done anything. This guy's up for life. And it's barely been a year and the dude's already jetting off to the academic wellness center. Like, this is messed up. And so again, I don't know thanks, kudos again to JD for letting us know some of the details here. I believe all this, but was that really intentional? Or maybe JD, I don't know if JD's aware of all the corruption in Scientology. Could that group have been paid off to show this defense of Danny's, right? That it's like, he's at a high risk. He needs to get out sooner. They all knew, let's amp up the threat level even higher, walk that line, and then we say, see, he's got to get out of there. Or is this legit? I'm curious what you guys think, chat. But Lewis, final thoughts on this topic.
Anything goes. Anything goes, man. Anything is possible. Murphy's Law. This is nuts. I can't, man. You're gonna need like a 24-hour stream to explain all this. This has a lot of twists and turns. Copyrights infringements have been weaponized here on YouTube. YouTube has taken the side of Scientology against protesters and struck channels just for videotaping as a Scientologist blast their own music out to the protesters. I mean, that's just one thing. So yeah, this totally makes sense. It could be staged. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know these guys. Never heard of the BBC, only the British one. But hey, look, at the end of the day, Andy and everyone watching, Danny Masterson is at a better place. He's in a better cell now.
He's now gotten to a better place, which is crazy given all that he's done. Lewis will be live later today, so go check out Nerd Report Live. And I'm going to be live at 3 p.m. in a little bit, Eastern Standard Time, over on our Patreon. So head on over there, check us out. You'll be able to watch the Patreon stream for our members only. Appreciate all you guys who have been joining us over there. We're going to have a fun stream for our Patreon members only. Thank you all for being here and supporting us. It's the first of many live streams, so come on over there. We're talking about a lot of stuff. My son's coming, Lewis. He's going to really reveal a lot about me. It's going to be a lot of fun, but join us over there if you're a Patreon member. If you're not yet, I'll put the link in the description. Consider joining and make sure to go support Lewis over at Nerd Report. Appreciate you, brother. And yeah, we gotta cover this together more often.
Yeah,
it's getting ugly out there, and I applaud what you're doing out there, fighting the powers that be, because this reporting is important. And we're not gonna let this corruption get away. So check out Nerd Report. Go subscribe. Stay tuned for more. If you haven't subscribed here, hit the bell, the like, leave your comments, and thank you guys, everybody, for watching.